Do you like Assassin's Creed? Do you like Kalis and think he's super hot? The style of assassins with cloaks and daggers? If you said yes to any of those, you're probably gonna base your personality on one of these dudes 100%. But I think we're getting off topic. Hello everyone, and welcome to my Moze guide. The hunt roster is getting bigger and bigger by the minute, and Moze only adds to this. He's a 4-star lightning unit following the hunt path and will be available in the first phase and probably second phase of the 2.5 update. He appears to be marking enemies as prey and dealing more damage to them with his instances of damage and follow-up attack. I'm gonna give you one piece of advice. In this video, I'll be giving you a guide on Moze based off the current leaks, with everything being subject to change. Any numbers I show here are again subject to change and are all level 1. Also, be sure to subscribe, it really helps me out, and we're getting close to 800 subscribers. Now, onto Moze's Assassin's Creed kit. Okay, everybody get ready, we're starting the guide off with his basic attacks. He basic attacks and does some damage. The skill marks an enemy as his prey and deals some damage. If everybody else on the team is stunned and cannot attack at the moment, Moze will not be able to use his skill and the enemy's prey state will be removed. Moze's talent, he enters the departed state if a prey is on the field, and allies that attack the prey will make Moze really angry that he's not getting to hit it as well, so he will additionally deal an instance of damage for every hit on his prey. This works exactly like Robin's ult damage, where if an ally hits an enemy, they will take an extra hit from Robin. His technique makes him go
Bravo 6, going dark.
For 20 seconds. While in stealth mode, like Sparkle's technique, he cannot be noticed by enemies. Once he enters combat, he gets a massive and much needed, in my opinion, 50% advance forward, getting him basically at the top of the action bar and increases his damage by 30%, lasting for a single turn. Finally, his ultimate gives him a 30% damage boost for 2 turns and deals an honestly pretty decent amount of damage to the enemy considering he's a 4-star unit. For the minor traces, he gets a big 37% crit damage boost alongside 18% attack and some random HP because he can. As for the major traces, his first one gives him a skill point after he follow-up attacks with a single turn as cooldown. Don't let this cooldown scare you, by the way. You can't follow-up attack again no matter what because he needs to take a turn to reapply his follow-up attack. Second trace advances him forward by 30% if he loses his departed state. And of course, this is really good since after he follow-up attacks, he needs to take a turn to reapply the mark, so this gives him an extra boost to reapply it faster. His third and final trace makes any ally attacking the prey deal 20% increased crit damage, meaning crits do more damage on the prey. If you pull for his Eidolons by accident or if you actually wanted them, his E1 is actually pretty crazy since it makes his ultimate a follow-up attack, but it also increases the follow-up attack damage the prey can take. This is actually half of the max skill of Topaz, and of course here's the proof of it. His E2 gives him 20 energy when he gets into battle and gains an additional 3 energy every hit that occurs from his talent. The little thing he copied from Robin's ult, where she does damage, that gives him an extra 3 energy every time that happens. E4 increases the third trace crit damage by an extra 20%, and E6 launches a follow-up attack after he ults. If the enemy dies before the follow-up attack happens, the follow-up attack goes to a random enemy. I'm just gonna go out and say it, if you want to play this unit, get his E1. It is absolutely crazy. Now that we have explained his kit, Eidolons, and traces, let's get over to the relics. I would not recommend Ashfang, but his E1 makes the ult, a big amount of his overall damage, become a follow-up attack. So, the 4-piece Ashfang is terrible, but at least the 2-piece is actually pretty good if you have his first Eidolon. Any 2-piece attack is good with follow-up attack 2-piece or 2-piece speed if you want him to be faster, or you can go 2-piece lightning bonus as well. Personally, I don't want him to be super fast, so I will probably build him with more damage than anything else, but it's up to you. A set I didn't really think about at first, but when I saw it, I knew it was going to be pretty decent. 4-piece Streetwise is not a bad option since you actually do attack quite a bit, so the stacks are super easy to obtain, but you can do better in my opinion. Bans is actually incredible for the 20% attack on skill usage. Since the cooldown is a single turn, he probably will proc his follow-up attack before his next turn, so you can have 100% uptime on this one. Pioneer is very good if you have lots of debuffs on the team, like Pella, Silverwolf, Jiao Chu, Guanaifen, who uses that. And Valorous is amazing if you time it well with your follow-up attack, so you can do big damage with the ult. Although, I guess this wouldn't really work with his E1, so be careful. Valorous works if you do not get his first Eidolon. As for the globes, Space Sealing Station is really good because it's easy to get 100% out of this, because he has 114 base speed, meaning you can reach the requirements of Space Sealing Station's buff very easily. Salsoto is amazing since he gets his follow-up and ult buffed, which do quite a bit of his overall damage. These don't stack, by the way, don't get them confused. His follow-up attack and ult damage are different things, so his follow-up attack gets a plus 15% and his ult gets a plus 15%. Glameth is good if you can reach at least 135 speed or the 160 speed breakpoint. And lastly, Izumo is great if you play another Hunt unit with him, which you probably will most of the time. Moving on to main stats, you mostly want crit rate over crit damage body piece because he already gets 40% from his minor traces. You can go crit damage body if you have enough crit rate from the other pieces, but in my opinion, crit rate on his body piece is actually pretty good. I wouldn't really recommend speed boots, so I'm just going to recommend attack boots because he already has such a high base speed, so I don't really think you need them unless you go for like Glameth or something like that. His advanced forwards are probably enough to get him on top of the action bar immediately. Go attack percent on your rope, and attack or lightning bonus on your ball. As for the substats, crit stats above anything else, then attack percent and speed percent. Again, speed isn't that needed, but having it is fine and is accepted with open arms. Okay, here I actually debated with myself for once on making this guide. Why does his signature light cone, with his face plastered on the light cone, on a crit assassin unit, why would you give him break effect? Now, I know somebody's gonna say, oh, Boothill can use this light cone because it's actually pretty good. But the point of having your face on a signature light cone, on your own light cone, is that it's really good on you. And this is gonna be a brave statement, but I do not see Boothill anywhere on this light cone. Enough about the light cone though. It increases break effect by 28% at S1, and upon entering battle or dealing break damage, you get an 8% speed bonus that lasts for 2 turns. This only triggers 1 time per turn, which basically translates to you can have 100% uptime if you don't fuck up. Cruising of the Stellar Sea as usual is one of the best. Silent Remains is good for certain situations where there are 2 or less enemies. River Flows in Spring is actually pretty good because of the damage boost and speed boost, which Moze doesn't really mind at all. Final Victor is going to be a very good light cone on him, since he can stack all of those for a long time before he takes a turn. The Battle Pass light cone Return to Darkness is actually pretty good and makes him a good buff dispeller for enemies that buff themselves. I'm not going to go into detail about Ratio's light cone or Topaz's light cone, but they will be very, very good on him. But I'm pretty sure not everyone has this lying around. For the teammates, Hunt March could work since she wants an attack from her master to gain a stack, so that might actually work, but I have no way of knowing myself. If you can test it out, go ahead and help me and everyone out in the comments. A team like Fei Xiao, Ratio, and Robin make for a fun combo, and Herta, Yunli, Topaz, and follow-up attack units in general are very good with him because of their high attack frequency, and supports like Robin, Runmei, and Sparkle would be very good with his teams because he mostly will be playing in dual DPS comps. An example of a team would be Hunt March, Moze, Linksha, or Aventurine, which are the best supports for him, and Robin, Runmei, or Sparkle as the buffer. Replace March with Yun Li to give him more stacks, and replace her with Fei Xiao to get a nice support for Fei Xiao. For my favorite part of the video, because it means I can end the video, the materials. Nail of the Beast Coffin is for his Ascension. I'm not going to mention how you get that. And his weekly boss is either going to be Phantilia or a new boss material. For his traces, his buddy Boothill is obviously going to give him some meteoric bullets, so you're going to need to use that for him as well. I'm not going to be spoiling what the new bosses will be, because I kind of fucked it up in the last video and I'm very sorry, but anyway, forget that. Moze had a rough announcement because of the drama surrounding the voice actor, but personally I don't really care since my boy Argenti and Ho-Ho got replaced. They're both great voice actors and the new ones are just as good, but they just don't feel that right to me. Might need some time to get used to them. As for Moze, he has an amazing voice and he looks super cool. Totally not biased because I loved playing Assassin's Creed as a kid. Anyways, that's gonna do it for my guide on Moze. Subscribe if I helped you out. I'll be making a video on if it's worth to skip 2.4 for 2.5. Not sure when it will come out, but hey, I'll see you next time. See ya.